Today we're making 3 pasta recipes in a pressure cooker.
Today, as we mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're doing pressure cooker recipes that are all super simple. They don't take any more than 20 minutes and they're all really, really delicious.
They all contain pasta, which is coincidental. What we realized once we filmed everything that every recipe has pasta, but we are not complaining. Pasta is one of our favorite things. And we wanted to make a video like this at the start of the year because we know a lot more people are interested in plant-based eating, especially at the start of the year. So if you want easy, one pot, no fuss recipes, these are for you.
And this video is also sponsored by our friends over at Cuckoo. So we're gonna be using the Cuckoo multi-cooker for all the recipes in this video. It's an 8-in-1 multi-cooker, so it can do so many different things like saute, pressure cook, it can make yogurt, it can make stews, soups, you name it, it can do it.
And what's great about it is, yeah, like Chris mentioned, there's so many different options that you can choose on the actual machine. So if you want to get an appliance to add to your kitchen, this is the one you should get because it covers so many bases. And yeah, you can make so many awesome recipes with it, like the ones we're making today. It's a professional quality machine made with stainless steel, and it's a high quality product from Korea. And we also wanted to mention what's cool is the insert, the bowl is dishwasher safe, and it also has an auto clean option as well. And when you're using 2 different cooking methods, you can actually use a combo method and switch between those 2 seamlessly.
And what's really cool is you can save up to 70% on cooking time, so you can make dishes a lot faster, and it's also much more energy efficient than using a oven or stove, so definitely a plus.
If you want to check out Cuckoo, we have a link down below, and we highly recommend this product. We have been loving it, and like I mentioned earlier, it's great if you're looking for a new appliance for your kitchen, you can't figure out what to get, this has them all. The first recipe we're making in our multi-cooker today is a lentil noodle soup. This is lentil soup with pasta basically, and this recipe comes from Chris's mom Julie, so shout out Julie, or as our friend Kirsten calls her, Mama P. And she made this for Chris while he was home for the holidays. He raved about it. He said we have to share it with you, so that's what we're doing today. So this recipe, along with all the recipes in this video, will be one pot obviously because we're making them all in the multi-cooker. They're really straightforward and really easy to make. We set our multi-cooker to saute, and I'm gonna add some oil. Then I'm adding in some onions, celery, and some carrots. Then I'm adding in lots of garlic and some red pepper flakes. You can adjust this based on your preference. I only add about 1/4 teaspoon, but if you want it spicier, you can add more. Some Italian seasoning, a bay leaf, and some fresh thyme. You can add these in whole and just remove the stems later because all of the leaves will fall off while it cooks. Give that a quick mix. We have some whole peeled San Marzano tomatoes, and I highly suggest you get San Marzano if you can. They taste so much better, and this is what Chris's mom always recommends. And we're just gonna break that up with our spatula. We're adding some vegetable broth. I like to pour it into the can of tomatoes just to get all that goodness out of there, plus a little more. Then we got some canned lentils. Then we got some ditalini. These are the cutest little pastas. Ditalini. They are the cutest little pastas, and you can really add whatever small pasta you want, but these ones are recommended because they're very cute. All right, we're gonna cover that up. Okay, we're gonna vent it. I like to pop a towel on top just to prevent the steam from going everywhere. We also have a camera up here, so to protect our camera. All right. Boom, beautiful, delicious, perfectly cooked pasta, hearty and delicious. I already said that. Before serving, I'm gonna remove the thyme and the bay leaves just so we don't bite into those. And last but not least, we're gonna add some spinach while it's still hot and mix that through until it is nice and wilted.
I'm so excited to eat this.
We're a little close to the camera right now. We didn't want to reset up a new one far away, so.
Here we are.
Feel a little intimate right now. Oh my gosh.
Reminds me of home. Perfect.
Forgot to mention, you can adjust salt and pepper to taste after it's cooked. It really doesn't need it though with all the broth you're adding to it.
Also recommend serving with some toasted Italian bread or garlic bread.
Ooh, it's so good.
It's so good, especially for like cold winter nights. It doesn't get any better. I feel like I've had this so many times. It's like my mom's go-to soup recipe.
I wanted to show, I guess I can't really show you because you're so far away, but the lentils like get stuck in the pasta and it's really cute.
That's so cute.
As usual, the recipe's linked down below and all the recipes in this video linked down below on our blog. I hope you can make this. It is so delicious. Next up, we're making a one-pot red curry pasta. This is actually adapted from our one-pot red curry noodle soup. It is one of our most popular recipes on the blog. It is very delicious. And we wanted to make a pressure cooker version that, of course, was just kind of like a dump and cook. And it's really easy to make. It cooks in just a few minutes. And instead of using longer noodles, we're gonna actually be using some rotini today because that fits better into the multi-cooker. So let's get started. We're gonna set our multi-cooker to saute and add some oil. And once that's heated, I'm adding in some garlic, ginger, and green onion. I'm gonna cook that for a few minutes and then add in some red curry paste. With red curry paste, I suggest adding a little bit first because the spice level varies depending on the brand. We've tried one where we added up to a 1/4 cup, but the one we're using today, we're adding just 1 tablespoon because it is quite spicy. If you're like me and you don't like spice, start slow, a little goes a long way. I'm also adding a pinch of salt and pepper as well. Next up for veggies, you can really add whatever you'd like. We're adding mushrooms today along with bell pepper, bok choy, and eggplant. I'm gonna give that a quick mix through. And for our liquids, we have peanut butter. If you don't wanna use peanut butter, tahini works well, or almond butter. Then we have some maple syrup or any liquid sweetener of your choice, some soy sauce or tamari, some coconut milk, vegetable broth, and last but not least, some pasta. We're using rotini today, but if you want to use any similarly sized pasta, that should be fine. I'm gonna give that a good mix, and I'm gonna press down the pasta into the liquid just to make sure that it cooks evenly. And we're just gonna cook this on high pressure for 7 minutes. And now we release the pressure. All right. Beautiful. I'm gonna add a touch of sesame oil, some fresh lime juice, and some spinach. I'd say just like 2 big handfuls. And I'm just gonna mix that through. So with this, it will seem a little runny at first, but as it sits, it will start to thicken, especially if you have leftovers and you put it in the fridge overnight. If you've ever made an Instant Pot soup with pasta, you may have experienced that where it's a soup and you put it in the fridge the next day and there's no more liquid. So that might be what happens, but it still tastes good regardless. It'll just be more soupy and more creamy the day you make it. All right, we let it sit for a few minutes, and as you can see, it thickened perfectly. It is super creamy and ready to be devoured. So we tested this earlier this week and I didn't add as many veggies and I doubled everything and it's so much better. You ate it, I thought we were gonna cheers.
That's really good.
So good. And like I said, like right now, it's not really that spicy. If you like spicy, you probably should add more red curry paste, but be careful. Delicious.
There's so many flavors, but like in the best way.
Yeah. And the lime that we added at the end, please don't skip that. It really adds to the recipe and it kind of just brightens it up, takes it to the next level and just finishes it off. So I wouldn't recommend skipping that.
Jasmine said I can't eat a lot of this because just.
I know, I never to take pictures, but it's so good. I can't stop eating it. I actually had this for breakfast today and now I'm having it for lunch.
I'm gonna have it for dinner too. The final recipe we're making today in our multi-cooker is a mushroom stroganoff. This is a really popular recipe on our blog, and we're taking it from a one-pot stovetop recipe, and we're making it in the multi-cooker. It's a very similar ingredients, and this just makes it a little bit easier. So if you don't have access to a stove or anything like that, you can just cook it right in your multi-cooker. To start, we're gonna set our multi-cooker on the saute setting, and once that heats up, we're gonna add in some dairy-free butter. Once the butter's melted, we're gonna add in our onions and garlic and let that saute. After a few minutes, we're gonna add in our mushrooms and let that cook for a few minutes. Next, we're gonna sprinkle in some all-purpose flour and let that coat the mushrooms. We'll let that cook for about 2 minutes, and you wanna be stirring that consistently throughout that time. Next, we're gonna add in some white wine and mix that through. And then we're gonna add in some thyme, tamari, bay leaves, nutritional yeast, Dijon mustard, and some Worcestershire sauce. And lastly, we're gonna add in our vegan beef broth we use at the Better Than Bouillon brand, and our pasta. We want to mix that through and make sure all of the pasta is fully covered, and then we'll just pop the lid on and let it pressure cook on high for about 5 minutes. And now we're going to release the pressure. It's always so scary. Now that our stroganoff is finished, the final touch is to add a little bit of vegan sour cream. And just like the last recipe, we're going to let this sit and thicken a bit.
I'm so excited for this. I already know it's gonna be good because we've tested this, but
I think I'm most excited for this recipe. That's perfect.
perfect.
It's amazing how perfectly pasta can cook in a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
I know what I'm having for dinner tonight.
I thought you were having you said you were having the red curry pasta
I'm
earlier.
gonna have half and half.
I actually did that the other night. It was really good. If any of you have ever tried this recipe, let us know in the comments down below. Like Chris mentioned, this is already on our blog as a stovetop option or stovetop version. We're gonna put out the pressure cooker version.
I think this saves time, right? I'd say this is maybe about 10 minutes quicker. That one's like 30 minutes. This is probably like 15, 20.
So that is all for today. We really hope you enjoyed this video and we hope that you can try these recipes out.
All the recipes will be linked down below as always, and make sure you check out Cuckoo. We are really impressed with their multi-cooker and can't wait to try out more of their appliances.
And we'll see you in our next video.
Peace.
Bye.